Watch the Mysteries of Existence channel for divine enlightenment. To know more about yourself, the physical and subtle aspects of the universe, and the source of all that is.
This is a message brought to you by the Harbinger of the Last Covenant, His Grace, Iyke Nathan Uzorma, author, Archbishop, University Chancellor, scholar in extraterrestrial research, professor of Christian education at St. Thomas-A-Backet University, England, recipient of Nelson Mandela Excellent Leadership Award in Africa, former living Grand Master in the Order of Terrestrial and Astral Hierarchy, amongst others.
Viewers, you are welcome to the Mysteries of Existence channel, and I am Lady Apostle Mrs. Mercy Iyke, and I'm here with His Grace, the Harbinger of the Last Covenant, the Most Reverend Professor Iyke Nathan Uzorma. Daddy, it's a pleasure being here with you today. Bless you, sir.
God bless.
My first question is on suicide, because it's so rampant in our society today, especially amongst the young ones that call themselves Gen Zs. And I want to really know what happens when one commits suicide as it relates to soul transmigration, and also what are the spiritual implications of this act of suicide?
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Daddy.
Suicide is under the platform of what we call emergency exit from the physical body. Emergency exit occurs through different ways. Through some accidents. Accident may occur to one person. It may be an emergency exit from the body. To another person, it may not be. Maybe a fulfillment of already a mission on earth. That becomes the channel of the exit. But to some, it's an emergency exit based on some other factors, so many other factors. So suicide is within that classification. Suicide is within that framework of emergency exit. Because the individual decides to cause the emergency exit of his consciousness, of his identity from the physical body. Now, when emergency exit occurs, it impinges in different ways upon the subtle aspects of the atomic structure of being, the atomic structure of the physically oriented aspect. If it was an emergency exit that is not within the framework of a mission of life fulfilled, and is not within the framework of this suicide, in some instances, the subtle aspects of the atomic structure of the physically oriented aspect can revert to what we call the adjacent aspect, which is the sub-physical. You see. Now, the sub-physical, that is related to the body you use in the dream state, but not the body you use in the deeper aspects of the dream state. Just as you are here now, you can just go into the adjacent state momentarily, maybe in a trance, in a brief trance, which is not a deep aspect of dream. You may still see this environment now, see everything, but you may see a little alteration within the environment. That is to show that the individual has gone into the adjacent state. You see. So now, so many things occur there. If the emergency exit, or what we may call sudden death, occurs, like I said earlier, sudden death may occur, and it may be a fulfillment of a mission, a choice made on how to depart from the earth world. Sometimes it can be the outcome of other factors, including the factor of battle, in which case the the mission is not fulfilled. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, when it occurs along that line, the mission is not fulfilled. The subtle aspects of the atomic structure of being, the atomic structure embedded within the physically oriented aspect of being, will now revert to the adjacent state or the subphysical state. Now, that reversion brings about some factors. You understand?
Yes, sir.
For instance, the reversion means that the departed spirit, the entire atomic structure of being, didn't revert to the inner world, what you may call the world of the dead. So, because of fluctuation of consciousness inherent also within that atomic structure, you have the lower layer, you have the upper layer. The upper layer now can become the basis of that same atomic structure, assuming a subphysical body, but because of the emergency exit, because those structures haven't completely exited, the one that remain within that discarded physical body can also now metamorphose into the adjacent state, causing itself to become the basis of materialization. So in such instance, now you can see, they say somebody died in New York, he's buried 15 years ago, and he's living in Lagos, Nigeria. Somebody died in London, and like the case here, somebody died in Ghana, and he's in our neighborhood. They are married, the children are there, the wife is there, and all those kind of things. So that's how that's. Now, the individual in such instance will now begin to act in fulfillment of the remaining years of the earth life. He may not necessarily act, in a linear aspect. That is following exactly. Let us say if he was a carpenter, he may not be a carpenter, but the emotions that encapsulated his being, the mental pattern, can form a particular kind of activity, but all are embedded within the fulfillment of that mission. That's not this is I'm talking about an emergency exit that the individual did not revert completely to the inner world. Some aspect remains within the adjacent state, and that cannot come. Now, and I remember I mentioned that such emergency exit has to be emergency, not in the human terms of emergency. Somebody may pass away now. Somebody may even die during operation. They may say, "Oh, it's a fulfillment of mission. It's a choice made. It's an emergency exit. It can be anywhere." Now, in the case of suicide, when somebody commits suicide, the individual, the same principle applies of the emergency exit. You see to that? But because it's a demonstration of volition of a choice made by the individual, it is now seen from the higher divine spheres as escape from reality. It is seen from the point that this departed individual has escaped from a particular problem that he was to overcome to attain a greater height. So such people do not go and live somewhere else, even though the atomic structure following the same rule. But because of the exercise of the evolution in causing that emergency exit, the individual is reverted back here on earth. It's reverted back here on earth, following the law of soul transmigration, which the great Lord Jesus Christ referred to as the law of regeneration, or any other name people can call it. Now, the individual will be made to face exactly the same situation in a relative aspect. The same situation that brought about that emergency exit through the process of suicide. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now, It is very to that end. Somebody that goes to commit suicide is delaying his own progress in the scale of existence. It's not like we are in a primary school. Then maybe I'm in primary 4, and out of many factors, I say I don't want to go to school, or for one reason or the other, I'm stopped from going to school. And those that are with me in the same primary level, they have progressed to secondary level, and I decide later that no, I want to go to school, or I'm forced by my parents to go to school or whatever. I will still start from that primary 4, even if 3 years had passed. So the things that make people to the situations, circumstances that make people to commit suicide, they are challenges on their part that they were supposed to surmount and rise. Because the earth life, the physical aspect of the earth life, is the primary school in our solar system, specifically in our solar system. But denizens from other planetary systems and galactic systems do still come to participate. The Earth planet is a realm of emerging consciousness. You see to that. So from a higher, from a higher cosmological point of view, then the Earth planet is the school of the universe. So any experience that comes your way ultimately is for good. Ultimately. But if one fails to understand, that is why divine wisdom is needed. If one fails to understand that and decides to cause an emergency exit of his consciousness from the body, following some situation, he cannot escape. He will return back. He must return in one way or the other to face the same thing. You see, and most of these emergency exits, if you look at it, is caused by issue related to emotion, because it is the disorientation of emotion. The volition exercised within the order of such a disorientation that causes people to enter into that. Because it has to do with volition. Volition means you exercise the right, you exercise your freedom. If it is to hang the person wants to hang himself, he's thinking, he has to go and prepare the rope or buy the rope, arrange the environment where he's going to do it. All those thinking, they are within his volition. So it is seen from the point that he's an escape. He's trying to escape from that challenge. And if you go to him and ask him, what is the thing that make you, and you rescue him, and he will tell you why he wanted to do that kind of thing, which is essential. So what we are telling human beings is that nobody should follow that path, because it's a delay. And in one of the sacred writings, God said, one of the sacred writings, He said, all men will come to me in due time, but theirs is the agony of awaiting. All men will come to me in due time, but theirs is the agony of awaiting. So that suicide is also part of the agony of awaiting anyway, because the person now delays his progress. You see. So we advise young people, men and women, not to submit themselves to the situation thinking that, oh, if they die, the thing that makes people to think like that is that some people think that if they die, they have gone to rest in peace. That's a big lie. Yes, rest in peace occurs, but rest in peace from the concept of organized religion is a big fallacy. Absolutely, but relatively it is true, because if when you were in university, you face the challenge of going to school, isn't it? You struggle, go to school, study, even when you are feeling a bit, maybe it's a time for lecture, and you felt, oh, I would have liked to sleep, to rest my head small. You still go for that lecture because you want to make it. You see to that. Then you struggle, do everything, pay school fees, everything. You know what it takes to go to this. Now, at the end, the day when you graduate and you are leaving that institution, the people that are within that institution, the students that are there, they will say, "Oh, we thank God for you that you have graduated and you have come out from the problems of school work, so that you can now go and rest." So they will be just wishing that they are like you, because they know that you have gone, you are not going to face all those, but you face all that necessity.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you come out of the school, or if some people they say, okay, maybe the person is praying for a husband. Now, in your own case, now you are married, you have children. Now, is it a cheap party to have a child? It's not a cheap party. You know what you pass through. That's a different challenge outside the framework of the school environment.
Yes, sir.
To do this, so many things. So that is how life is. The sense of challenges in existence change, alters. The sense of pleasure, the sense of pain alters. One man's pain is not another man's pain. Like in our own physical this world now, we have a sense of pleasure within certain interactions and things we eat and do. Those kind of things, they are higher than the animal sense of pleasure. But within the animal kingdom, the sense of pleasure is still there. It's still there. Still there. Still there. Then now you can see that the animal sense of pleasure. Let us say you go to the villages in Africa, you see dogs eating fishes. So that's an enjoyment. The sense of that enjoyment is there within that animal. But what the animal is enjoying is abhorred by you. So also, as you progress in the scale of existence, in the higher dimension, the sense of our current sense of pleasure alters. Pleasure still exists, but the sense alters as related to what we do in the physical world. You understand? So nobody is going anywhere to race anywhere in peace. That you must face the challenge of life. But it's just like you see a president of a country. Let us say the political setup. You see what do you call it? Called this position. From the elected position in Nigeria, I think it begins from this ward. Ward something before somebody will come. A local government councillor and all that. Now, from the point of view of a local government councillor, because from local government councillor, it's among them they can now maybe possibly have their chairman of the local government, among that kind of thing, or their legislator or whatever. Before you now come to the state, like I'm using Nigeria as for example, I think it's also connected to the United States and some other country. Then the state you have the governor of the state, have this network before you go to the president. Now, if somebody from that local government or from the district is looking at that president, you will say that he's ultimately enjoying. And from the point of view of the chancellor, the president is truly enjoying, because when the president comes out, he goes with opulence. They say he has a private jet, can command the army, can command the police. But when you go to the lap of that president, he also faces his own challenges. So there's no, you understand what I'm saying? Yes, so you see, he is enjoying from a particular, yes, of course, he's enjoying within the material world, but he's also facing his own kind of situation. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, so that is how it goes. So if anybody thinks, I'm saying this to discourage people. If anybody thinks that, oh, let me go and commit suicide so I can escape from all, he's deceiving himself. First of all, the person must be brought back to the earth or dimensions related to the earth to face exactly that same thing. If it's a woman that committed suicide because you say the mind disturb him or you didn't follow this, he will encounter such a thing until he comes to a point of growth. It can be thousands of years until he comes to a point of growth that when somebody disturbs the suppose she doesn't matter. That's the point she has graduated. She has moved away from that dimension. Somebody can rigmarole based on the intensity of the emotion discharged during the suicide. That intensity of the emotion also it plays a considerable role in many other factors as related to what you are hearing. I think you can see that the media team has signaled that that is enough. Maybe we can come back to continue this conversation if you see. All right.